Howdy gang, Trailblazer Tim here again. Today we're heading out to our favorite little spot, and when we get there I'm going to show you the best and most effective way to protect your gear when you're at camp. So I'll meet you out there. Alright, so we made it back here into camp and stuff, and like all you guys and gals out there that like to come out camping and bring gear or a backpack with you, usually the best thing you want to do when you first get in is to hang up your gear somewhere like on a little branch like I did coming into the camp today. And of course the reason behind hanging your bag off of a tree limb and stuff is to keep the critters out from getting into your goodies. It's a sense of security. Of course, this being the easiest and most accessible way of getting to your gear and stuff, I've noticed over the years there are some drawbacks to hanging your gear off of a tree limb. Now here in Central Florida there's countless amount of critters, just like anywhere you go out in the middle of the forest and stuff. Things that crawl, things that slither, things that climb in trees and stuff. We need to find out the best way where we can protect our gear at all odds, the best we can, to try to protect ourselves from all these critters. Now these animals predominantly drawn to your gear bag and stuff, usually, especially if you're camping out overnight, because you usually have food and they can smell that. That's why I've said in other videos to always make sure to bring things in at airtight little things like Tupperware, plastic bags and stuff, and keep them out of the area and stuff. That's why it's important once you get to camp, whether you're staying a long period of time or overnight, to elevate this thing in a way where you have the best odds of protecting your gear. So today I've decided to show you what's called the Distel Hitch knot. It's kind of a hybrid between the press knot as well as the clove hitch. I'm going to show you what this does and how we can utilize this to the best of our ability to protect our gear. So the first thing we want to do when we get into camp and get settled in is to find ourselves some sort of an overhead branch that'll be strong enough to accommodate the weight of our gear. Alright, so what we're working with here today is about a 10-foot piece of 8mm diamond braided rope. I've taken one end and I've made a bowline knot. I've got a regular carabiner. We're going to clip that thing onto the end just like that. We're going to take that piece of rope that's got the carabiner end, we're going to pass it around the limb. I'm going to take this tag end, slip it through that carabiner like so. That way this thing's holding up there to the tree, kind of like that. Now we've got our rope secured around our limb. I have a smaller diamond braided rope, about 3 or 4 feet, and I've tied bowline knots on both ends. Now it's time to show you how to tie the Distel Hitch knot. Now we're standing right here in front of our line that we've secured above us to the tree limb. We're going to take our smaller little rope that's got the 2 bowline knots in it. We're going to take and pass about 1/3 of that length right in front. And we're going to hold on to that thing like so. We're going to take our longer end, we're going to come from around our long end once, twice, and a 3rd time, creating like a 4th knot. See that? Alright, at this time we're going to bring this down. We're going to pass this in front and back around, coming back up through, something like that. We're going to kind of dress that up a little bit as good as we can. We want to make sure these 2 ends are about the same length. Kind of like that. See that? Let's take a closer look. That's what you're looking for. And if you look closely, I've dressed that out enough where both of my little bowline knots are about the same length. Alright, so this is what we're looking at. We got our 2 little bowline knots and they're about the same length. We're going to take our oversized carabiner. We're going to clip it through both of those knots. Just like that. See? That's a beautiful thing. Now that we've established a great little carabiner with 2 bowline knots that are attached to our distal knot, we can take our gear bag, clip it in there, kind of like that. The nice thing about the Distel Hitch knot is one of the reasons why climbers use this so much is because at this point we can take our whole knot and slide it upwards with our gear, and it's not going anywhere. The nice thing about the Distel Hitch knot is it works against friction. I can easily slide this thing up and down my rope like you see, Or if I need pressure and friction against friction, it ain't going anywhere as I tug against it. That's the reason why so many climbers trust the pressing knot as well as the distal hitch knot. Now keep in mind, this type of knot is generally used by arborists or climbers and stuff like that. In this case, that knot is perfectly great for doing so. You can add little trolley system, pulley systems, all that kind of stuff to it if you're into the climbing and stuff. But the most important thing is do not use gear that is not rated for climbing. A great choice in knots for climbing, but not the best choice in carabiners. This is an all-purpose generalized knot for climbing carabiner we use simply to hang our gear from a tree limb. Well, hey, that's all the time we got for this one. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching the video. The distal hitch knot, kind of a hybrid between the pressing knot as well as the clove hitch. Very popular in the climbing community. We didn't do this as an example for that, obviously, because you've seen the all-purpose carabiner I used that says knot for climbing. So make sure to use the right gear if you're going to use this knot for climbing. But this is a great alternative for you guys out there that want somewhere securely to hang your rucksack, your backpack, your gear and stuff from a tree, and not just on the side of a tree where animals can get up there and then climb across and get down into a fully secured zippered bag. I've had it happen to me before. Listen, if you missed anything along the way on this video and you need to see how that knot is tied a little better, go back and watch it. Leave me a comment down below and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you all in the next adventure. Take care.